Okay, so it's time to talk a little bit about build tools. Specifically, we're talking about Gradle and Maven. So here's what's going to break down. As far as this course goes, you don't actually need Gradle or Maven because most of the projects that we generate actually come with a Maven or Gradle wrapper inside the project. So you don't actually have to point to a Gradle installation, but you can. When you go ahead and generate something like that, you can actually use the Gradle wrapper when you import the project, or you can just go ahead and point to maybe a distribution that you have on your machine. So just for fun, I'm just going to point these two out and actually show you one of my favorite software kits out there, just in case you haven't heard of it, just so that you can easily get both of these installed if you needed to. So again, we're talking about build tools here. Given your background, why you signed up for this program, you should know a little bit about them. Again, if you don't, not a huge deal at this point. So I'll get you the links for both Gradle and for Maven. But in the meantime, I'm going to talk about something called SDKman. And if you've paid attention to anything I've taught before, or my blog or YouTube channel, you know that I'm a huge fan of SDKman. So SDKman, for short, stands for the Software Development Kit Manager, and it's basically a tool for managing parallel versions of multiple software development kits on most Unix-based systems. I haven't tried it yet, but this does run on Windows using something like Cygwin, but the new Windows 10 actually has Bash inside of there. So in theory, this should actually work on Windows 10, the anniversary update as well. But I haven't actually tried it there. So if you do, please let me know to share that news with everyone. So here we are, the SDKman, and you can go through and actually look at how to install it. Pretty easy to get started, how to use it, but I'm going to just jump right into the tool just so we can see it. So if I go ahead and clear this out, so when you type SDK, you're going to get some help information, and it's basically going to give you a list of commands that you can run. And the candidate is what we're looking at, is all of the different software development kits that we can install. So if we want to install something like Groovy or Maven or Gradle or Grails, etc., those are the different candidates that we're going to install. And then we can manage multiple versions of each of those different candidates. And this is where this comes in really handy. If you play in this world at all, you really hate to be downloading manually and updating environment variables and such. It just gets to be a pain in the butt, and that's why I really love this tool. So what we're going to do is let's take a look at Gradle and Maven. So for this, I'm going to say SDK list. So this is one of our options, list or ls. I'm going to list, and then you want to list a candidate. So in this case, I'm going to say Gradle. And what this is going to do, it's going to tell me all the available versions of Gradle. So you can see all the versions in here. And if you look at here, the asterisk says that I have 2.7 installed at this time. We see an RC and a milestone. So what I'm going to do is actually install the latest and greatest release candidate, which is 2.9. So to do so, I can just type SDK install. Again, that's another command. And we're going to type Gradle as the candidate, and then we just type a version. So in this case, 2.9. So it's going to go out and actually download it for us, unzip it, and then set up some basic variables for us so it knows to point to the current install. So do you want 2.9 to be set as the default? I'm going to say yes, and we're good to go. So then we could also do this for Maven. So let's go ahead and list Maven. And those are the available Maven versions. I actually don't have any installed. Again, a lot of the projects that I work on here, especially even demos, I just use the Maven wrapper and the Gradle wrapper, so it's not a big deal. So that's just a little bit about SDKman. Again, I wanted to point out here that if you need to, you can install Gradle, you can install Maven. When you create a new project, you get a choice to use whatever build tool you like. So if you prefer Maven, you can use Maven. If you want to try Gradle out and check out some of the cool tools that are in Gradle, you can check that out. We'll probably be using Gradle a lot in this particular course, but again, it doesn't matter. And I just wanted to point out that you can install these. And if you haven't heard of SDKman before, I kind of wanted to show that because I just love introducing people to that tool. So I think that's it for this. Let's go ahead and wrap this up and move on.